No yishmartzeischu v'yecho me'atov ve'ad oilom. Dear friends, let's take a bill, a coin, whatever you have, let's put it in the pushka, let's do it together. The blessing of achdus, of togetherness, in itself is a great blessing, and it brings further Borcheinu Avinu Kolonu Ke'echad, godly blessing. Today, Zayin Adar, the 7th day of the month of Adar, which is the day of the birthday of Moshe Rabbeinu, and 120 years later, the day of his passing. Story of Purim, Haman drew the lot, and he knew the month of Adar. He knew about the passing. He didn't know about the birthday, and he didn't realize that the birthday supersedes the passing. And that's the greatness of that particular day. Let me focus on something relatively light but interesting about Moshe Rabbeinu. His name is Moshe. Who gave him the name Moshe? As we know, after 3 months, his parents had to put him into the water and the Nile, because the decree of Pharaoh that every little boy that's born should be killed. So they just put him in the Nile. Miriam was watching over him, and the miracle that happened, that Basia, the princess of Egypt, Pharaoh's daughter, saw a little basket and an infant crying. She had pity, she took him in, and in fact, she raised him in the palace of Pharaoh. But then she gave him a name, Moshe. Why? Ki minamayim mishisihu, because I have pulled him out of the water. So Moshe represents, I saved them from the water. I pulled them out of the water. So it is an Egyptian princess who gave the name Moshe, although as we have spoken in the past, family gave many other names, but the Torah stuck to the name Moshe, the name that an Egyptian princess gave him. Then we find another thing related to Moshe with Egypt, as an Egyptian. When Moshe Rabbeinu had to run away from the palace, actually at the age of 40, because he killed an Egyptian who wanted to hurt a Jewish person. Word came back to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh decided that he has to kill him. Miraculously, he was saved from the clutches of Pharaoh. He ran away and he came to Midian. Midian tells us the story, the Torah tells us the story, that he went to the well, and there he saw a few women, young women, who was being bullied by the other shepherds. He protected her, and he helped her to give water to drink, to give drink to all the animals. When she came home early to her father, which was Yisro, who eventually became Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law, Yisro asked his daughter, how come you're home so early? You usually come late because you have to wait till all the other shepherds take care of their animals, and then you're allowed to get some water. So she said, there was a man who protected me. There was a man who helped me. And she uses the term Ish Mitzri, an Egyptian man. And the Torah goes on to speak about Moshe Rabbeinu as Ish Mitzri. Why? Why would Moshe Rabbeinu call the Egyptians? Just the opposite. He's the one who destroyed Pharaoh and the whole of Egypt. He's the one who saved the Jewish people from Egypt. He's the antithesis of Egypt. Egypt is corruption, Egypt is Klippa, and Moshe Rabbeinu is Kedusha, is holiness. So Reb Leivik, the Rebbe's father, has a very deep Kabbalistic dissertation. I just want to take a very simple little detail of part of his lengthy discussion. We know that in Judaism, in the letters, the Hebrew letters have a numerical value. Aleph is 1, Beis is 2, and so on. Moshe Rabbeinu was born to his parents, Yocheved and Amram, when Yocheved was 130 years old. Yocheved, actually, she was of the first group of 70 who came with Yaakov into Egypt. She gave birth to Moshe Rabbeinu at the age of 130. 80 years later, Moshe Rabbeinu was sent back by God to redeem the Jewish people from Egypt. So the 130 that the Jewish people were in Egypt prior to his birth, plus the 80 years now that Moshe Rabbeinu has appeared, is the total of 210, which is the amount of time the Jewish people were in Egypt. Now let's take the word Mitzri. Excuse me. Mitzri is spelled Mem Tzadik Resh Yud. Mem has the numerical value of 40. Tzadik is 90. Mem and Tzadik together is 130. So the first two letters of Mitzri represent the first stage, the first part of the 130 years till Moshe Rabbeinu was born. What we have left is Reish Yud. Reish and Yud. Reish is 200, Yud is 10. So we have 210. Says Reb Leivik that we see in the word Mitzri is hidden the story of Moshe Rabbeinu, how at the age of 80 he took us out of Egypt. And that's why the Torah refers to him also as Ish Mitzri. In either case, what we need Moshe Rabbeinu, who is the first Redeemer and the last Redeemer, to come and take us out from the present exile. And it would be beautiful this should happen on his birthday.